Aye, we give you the facts. It's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
Greetings, viewers and subscribers. Now, we are going to be resuming the driving and the history lesson in our next video because we have a whole heap to cover today. Now, you might have heard the interview I did with Tanisha. If you haven't, I implore you to go back and watch the videos. There is the thumbnail for part 1 that was posted on Monday, and there is the thumbnail for part 2 that was posted yesterday, Tuesday. Now, on this channel, we aim for truth and only the truth. We have been doing a lot of digging as it relates to what Tanisha had to say, and yes, we found out that she was telling the truth when she said that her dirty sperm donor, family ram, he was abusing her. You see, men like those, we don't call them fathers. They are dirty sperm donor, family rams, and yes, he was abusing her. Now, there was a comment from one of Tanisha's sister that many of you might have missed. I'm going to read it. It is now on your screen. It says, "Since I am not allowed to sleep because of this dreadful story that the devil used you, Tanisha, aka Yaya, to cook up, mother has been nothing but good to us. She worked so hard to ensure that we could put food to our mouth. I am in disbelief. You could have killed us. You invited her to your home, treat her like a queen. Now you came here with a cooked up story. When did you sleep on a bed with 4 people? When did the usher push his tongue in your ears? I almost fainted. What you mean about poverty when you were living in a big 2-room house owned by your mother and your mother still taking care of you? You turn your back on your family after you use us all to get photo in America to get your green card. The story with your father. Poor me didn't have any knowledge of it. Call you to inform you that your father is sick. Someone showed up at the house with that information. The amount of bad words you told me, it wasn't so heartwarming at all. I am the one that grows you because mother was always out working. How can you forget the story that she carried you in her womb for 11 months? Boyfriends wasn't an option, and because some of us can't have our own ways, we blame our parents for being good to us. The truth would be a disgrace. The word of God said, "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord." Those who really know us know the story make up. People keep calling me, asking how you're so wicked. This just give me a headache. Jano Star, I can't believe we are blood. When did your father teach you to cook and you don't live with him? Mighty God of Daniel, why didn't you say something to me? I did everything for you. I protected you the best way I know how to. Foreign really change people. The half has never been told, shake my head. God go with you. Why you wait until the man dead? So let me go back over the last part of the comment. Stacey Ann, Tanisha's sister, she asked, when did your father teach you to cook and you don't live with him? Well, Stacey Ann, listen the interview again. She said it was when her mother sent her to her father on a Sunday. That's the time he used to teach her and was behind her. Go back and listen again. Stacey Ann, you then asked, why didn't you say something to me? I did everything for you. I protected you the best way I know how to. Well, Stacey Ann, is it a fact or not that she told your mother? Stacey Ann then asked, why you wait until the man dead? My question is, waited to do what? To come out and speak openly about it or to report it? You see, I have some more to say, but I won't say it yet because there was that comment on the video Also, look at your screen. It was made by Mrs. Joni Smith Doyley. And for those who were asking why I bleeped out her name from the video, now if you have been following this channel for a while, you would realize how I do things. I am now calling her name because she commented. You get that? Yeah man, think. Tanisha's mom, she commented. This is Tanisha's mother. Popeye, I need to talk to you. Well, both Tanisha's mother and sister and we have connected via WhatsApp. I won't reveal the private discussion we have been having so far, but I am still hoping to hear their side, or the mother's side of the story. It looks unlikely, but I am still hopeful. If and when that happens, I will be bringing the conversation to you. Stand by. And mother, yeah man, we still want to talk to you. Even though you were told something by someone very close to you, we would still like to hear your side of the story. Now, moving right along. In the news today, you remember I carried a story last week, Thursday, November 17, 2022. There is the thumbnail for that story on your screen. If you haven't yet watched that video, go back and watch it in full. It took place the previous night, Wednesday, November 16, 2022, about some minutes after 8 o'clock. It took place at Hacker Street in the Hendon Narwood area of Montego Bay. In that incident, 5 men and a 9-month-old baby girl named Delani Christie, they were shot. Delani, she was in the arms of her father, Delano Christie, also known as Weddy, when she was shot. Weddy, he was also shot and he died as a result. Another man named Jardine Brown, popularly known as Heads, he also died after being shot. 9-month-old Delani, she has been battling for life in hospital since then. Well, yesterday, we got the sad news. Young Delani, only 9 months old, she succumbed to her injuries about 1 o'clock early Tuesday morning, November 22, 2022. Now, remember, she had received gunshot wounds from an M16 rifle to her right shoulder and the right side of her abdomen. Sad indeed. Condolences to Delani's mother and the rest of the family. May her sweet soul, her young soul, rest in peace. Also, we brought you a story on Sunday, November 20, 2022. It was about an incident that took place on Saturday morning, November 19, at Moorland Hill in the parish of Westmoreland. The allegations are that the man on your screen, his name is Kish Evans. He was stabbed and taken out by his 57-year-old uncle, Fitzroy Frey. Well, Fitzroy, he has now been officially charged by the police for the offense of murder. Well, what we are learning is that this is not Fitzroy's first brush with the law. It is said that Fitzroy, he was charged previously for the offense of manslaughter after he was driving a bus and met in an accident and a man died. We are told that Fitzroy, he was found guilty and given a prison sentence for that. When he was released, he was still living in Kingston and he was charged for the offense of murder after he stabbed and killed a man in Kingston. Fitzroy was again sent to prison. It is said that he was released on parole, and when he was released from prison, he didn't bother to go back to Kingston. He relocated to Moorland Hill in Westmoreland. It is also said that he was looking after his sick father at Moorland Hill. We are also learning that Fitzroy, he had started going to church and he had gotten baptized. Many persons are now wondering, what was it that his sister's son, Kish, might have said to him why he reacted that way? Well, whatever Kish said, it is also said that Kish was not armed when Fitzroy stabbed him. So let's wait and see how this one is gonna play out in the courts. The next incident, it took place last week, Wednesday afternoon, November 16th, 2022, about 5 o'clock. It took place at a clinic along the busy Strand Street in Montego Bay in the parish of St. James. We are learning that a doctor, he worked at a clinic and he was inside his office when two hoodlums entered the clinic. One of them was pretending to be sick and wanted medical attention. He went into the doctor's office and whilst he was being examined by the doctor, he brandished a gun and held up the doctor. He then called in the other hoodlum who was in the waiting area. The two hoodlums, they then tied up the doctor and put him to lay down on the floor. We are told that they also used their gun to hit him in his head, causing the doctor's head to bleed. They demanded money from the doctor and they proceeded to rob him of a phone, a laptop and over 30,000 Jamaican dollars in cash. They then made good their escape on foot in the area. The doctor, who was bleeding like crazy, he managed to free himself. He then raised an alarm. The police were called and they proceeded to the scene. Luckily, the doctor's injuries were not life-threatening. Boy, may I tell you. Now, still on the robbery scene. This one took place last night, Tuesday, November 22, 2022, about 11 o'clock. It took place at a bar along the White House main road in the parish of Westmoreland. We are learning that a man and the bartender, they were inside of the bar when a hoodlum, armed with a gun, entered the bar. The hoodlum juked down both the man and the bartender and proceeded to rob them of cash and a cell phone. When the hoodlum was leaving the bar, we are told that he used the gun to hit the man in his head, causing a serious wound. He then escaped on foot in the area. Now, I bring these stories, so that you might learn from the experience of others. 11 o'clock at night in a bar. Now, I am not saying hoodlums have a right to rob you, but we must face reality as it is, not as it was or how we wish for it to be. A word to the wise. I'm talking about robbery. That guy on your screen, his name is Miguel Jones. On December 16, next month, Miguel is celebrating his 31st birthday. He's from a place named Pell River in the parish of Hanover. Miguel, he was a midfielder on the Ruseas high school football team. Now if you look on the screen, there is Miguel in a 2010 football match. That match was the DaCosta Cup semi-final played at Jarrett Park. Ruseas went on to beat Garvey Masio 3-0. Well, Miguel, he has been going on an overseas work program since 2016. He was employed as a non-agricultural worker doing landscaping. He worked with an employer in Edgertown in Massachusetts. So Miguel, he would go up, work for about 5 or 6 months, then go back home to Hanover. Last week, Thursday morning, November 17, 2022, some minutes after 8 o'clock. Shortly after the Rockland Trust Bank in Vineyard Haven, Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts, opened. 3 hoodlums armed with guns, they forced their way into the bank and they tied up the bank employees with duct tape and plastic. They then proceeded to rob a large sum of US dollars from the bank. The hoodlums, they then stole one of the bank employees' motor vehicle and made good their escape in the said motor vehicle. They later abandoned that motor vehicle in a parking lot about some 5 minutes later. So here is how the police are implicating Miguel in this robbery. They are not saying that Miguel was among the 3 hoodlums who went into the bank. What the police are claiming is that after the hoodlums abandoned that car that they robbed from the bank employee, they boarded another vehicle and they are claiming it was being driven by Miguel. They are also claiming that when they held Miguel in the car that he was driving, in the car they found 3 $100 bills. They are claiming that 2 of the $100 bills displayed sequential serial numbers to the ones stolen during the bank robbery. The police are also saying that they found in the car 1 pair of white Nike sneakers and dark clothing, which are consistent with surveillance videos and witness statements. They are saying that the clothing and the Nike sneakers are similar to what at least one of the hoodlums who entered the bank was wearing. They are also saying that when they questioned Miguel, he was being evasive. As a result, he was arrested and charged for being an accessory after the fact as it relates to the bank robbery. Miguel went to court and he was offered bail in the sum of 300,000 United States dollars. Miguel, he strongly denying the allegations and he will be going back to the court on his birthday, December 16, next month, when the case will again be mentioned. So let's see how this one is gonna play out in court. You know, to tell you the truth, I am really hoping that Miguel is not involved. I am hoping. Trust me. In this next incident, the Betheltown police, they are carrying out investigation to ascertain how a man met his demise. This man, his name is Cleon Scott. He was popularly known as GULLY. In 1 week's time, on December 1, GULLY would be celebrating his 50th birthday. So this is what we are learning. GULLY lived at Lambs River in the Betheltown police area in the parish of Westmoreland. Yesterday morning, Tuesday, November 22, 2022, about some minutes to 6 o'clock, someone was walking along the Lambs River main road when the person heard a groaning sound coming from inside a yard. The person made an alarm and other persons came out and checked. When they checked, they saw GULLY lying on the ground near to a house. He was lying in a pool of blood. He had a wound to his forehead. GULLY, he was rushed to the Savannah Lamar Hospital by relatives where he was pronounced DEAD on arrival. Like I said, the police, they are carrying out investigations to ascertain what really happened. A post-mortem examination will be done on GULLY's body to find out the cause of death. If and when there are any more updates, we will certainly be updating this story. So, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Have you touched on the love button as yet? If you have not yet done so, remember to do it. Also, if you are over here watching our videos and you have not yet subscribed, hit on the subscribe button. As also, hit on the notification bell. Then click all so that whenever we upload a new video, you will be the first to be notified. Now, in the final story for today, that man on your screen, his name is Kenroy Davis. He was popularly known as Ken. Ken was 55 years old. He lived at Station Road in the Little London area in the parish of Westmoreland. Ken, he used to operate a shop, but it is said that it was not stocked up for a while, so it was locked down. In the past, we are learning that Ken, he used to run taxi. He also used to drive persons around. So for example, someone living abroad came to the area and they rented a motor vehicle. They would hire Ken to drive them around. Ken, he also used to do a little farming. He also did some tiling. Now, if you look on the screen, that is a step that Ken tiled about 3 weeks ago. It is said that recently, Ken fell on hard times. It is also said that he was depressed and didn't talk much. Well, on Friday evening, November 18, about 7 o'clock, he was last seen alive by a neighbor. Ken was not seen over the weekend and no one bothered to check because that's how Ken would stay indoors at time. But yesterday morning, Tuesday, November 22, 2022, about some minutes after 7 o'clock, a neighbor smelled a foul odor coming from Ken's shop. Checks were made and there was Ken. He was seen with a piece of black electrical cord tied to the roof and the other end tied around his neck. The police, they were called, and when they went to the scene, they found Ken in an advanced state of decomposition. He was dressed in a cut-off jeans pants and he was barefooted. We are told that there were no signs of struggle. It is suspected that Ken, he took his own life. The police are saying that no foul play is suspected. Ken's body was removed and a post-mortem examination will be conducted. Sad indeed. Blessed love, everybody.
Tell a friend for tell a friend for tell a friend about Popeye Newslink and PNL Blog TV. Like, subscribe and share. Quicksilver sing, if we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. If we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. Hey, crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. I coulda sunshine or rain. Jamaica, no problem, no pain. Rude boy them knock out can't take, but me want me country back. Give me country back. To the street and the lane, everybody them start complain. Bloodshed, what a shame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Jamaica, Jamaica, the land of the sun. Jamaica become now the land of the gun. East and north and south when we turn. Country and town, man a pay blood a run. Murder, don't you baby me hear them a murder. Cut it out, tell them no gonna further. Man a dead like cans and bird, yeah. Who no listen them a word, yeah. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them